Each and every one of them coming from Jacksonville, Florida. Put your hands together for Hubie Willis. Hey! How's everybody doing tonight? As Corey said, I'm Hubie Willis. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to start out with a few just little quickies just to get everybody rolling. What would you call a Roman with a pubic hair between his teeth? That would be a gladiator. What would you call a geriatric gynecologist? That would be a spreader of old wives' tales. June and Ward were sitting at the breakfast table the next morning, and June was going, "Gee, Ward, don't you think you were just a little rough on the beaver last night?" Okay. I've got some. Is anybody familiar with like no arm and no leg jokes? I've got quite a few. I'll start you off with an easy one. What would you call if you had a guy on your front porch with no arms and no legs? What would his name be? Man. I heard it. Okay. If you had a man with no arms, no legs hanging on your wall, what would he be called? What about a man with no arms, no legs, and a pile of leaves? Whoa! Way to go! What about a guy with no arms and no legs in a hole? Phil! Okay. All right, I got another one. We're going to stick with it. If you had two nuts hanging on the wall, what would you have? Walnuts, I heard that. All right, that was an easy one. If you had two nuts hanging from your chest, what would you have? Chestnuts. You got it. If you had two nuts hanging from your chin, what would you have? Oh, yeah! Are you single? Oh, yeah, okay. All right. This little Indian boy was walking around in the village one day, and he came up on the chief, and he had a question for the chief. He says, "How does everybody in the tribe get their name?" And the chief goes, "Well, the medicine man, he's been my medicine man for the 30 years that I've been the chief of the tribe." He says, he goes into the birthing tent, and when the baby is born, he comes out, and the first thing that he sees when he comes out of the tent is what he names the newborn baby. He says, "That's how your daddy, Running Bear, got his name. And your uncle, Soaring Eagle, your mama, Running Deer, and your sister, Spotted Fawn." He says, "Is there any other things I can help you with, two dogs fucking?" I'm sorry. That one got me. Oh, Little Johnny goes into English class, and the teacher gets up front, and she goes, "I'm going to give everybody a key word, and everybody in this room is going to have to make a sentence using this word. And the word I want to use today is fascinate." So she gives them all a couple of minutes to come up with a sentence, and little Betty raises her hand. "I've got a sentence. I went to the zoo the other day with my mom, and all of the wild animals just fascinated me." And the teacher goes, "Well, that's very good, but that's not the exact word. I wanted fascinate." So the next guy, little Willie, gets up. He says, "My dad took me to the planetarium last night, and we sat there looking through those telescopes at all the stars, and it was simply fascinating." And the teacher said, "Well, that's a very good sentence too, but that's not the exact word." Little Johnny, he's in the back of the room, and he's jumping up and down his chair. "Let me be next." The teacher goes, "All right, little Johnny, what's your sentence?" He says, "My sister's tits are so big, she has a 10-button sweater, but she can only fascinate." Two rednecks were sitting at a bar in West Virginia, two redneck buddies, knocking down a few beers, and one buddy said to the other one, he says, "If I was fucking your wife, would that make me and you first cousins?" He goes, no, I don't think so, but it would make us even. All right. Redneck's driving down the road in Georgia, Interstate 95. Cop pulls him over for speeding. He walks up to the window. He says, sir, have you been drinking tonight? Your eyes are kind of bloodshot. He looked up at him and said, officer, have you been eating donuts tonight? Your eyes look kind of glazed. Oh, yeah. Little Johnny and his mom was out walking around in the neighborhood one day, and they accidentally came across 2 dogs in their neighbor's backyard making puppies. And little Johnny, he didn't recognize what they were doing. And his mama tried to explain to him and said, well, those 2 dogs are having making puppies. They're getting together and they're gonna have a litter of puppies. And he goes, okay. So 3 or 4 nights later, he gets up in the middle of the night and he's walking down the hallway to go to the bathroom, and he walks past Mom and Daddy's room, and the bedroom door is wide open. Daddy's on top of her, and he goes, Mom, what are you doing? She goes, me and your daddy's trying to make you a little brother or a sister. And he goes, Mama, flip over, I'd rather have a puppy. Oh, Lord. Oh, I got one more. Little Johnny's sitting on the front porch. It's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. His daddy comes home from work. He goes, hey, little Johnny, how you doing, Bo? He goes, I'm doing just fine, Daddy. He goes, anything exciting happened today at school? No. Anything since you've been home? He goes, well, yeah. He says, when I got home, Mama almost died. And the daddy goes, what? He says, yeah, when I came in the front door, I could hear Mama down the hallway in the bedroom screaming at the top of her lungs. Oh my God, here I come. I went running down the hall to save her, and if the postman hadn't have been on top of her holding her down, I think she would have gone. I think that's just about all I have for tonight. Hey. I want to say y'all have been a dynamite audience. Y'all deserve to give yourself a round of applause. Oh, you. I'm Hugh Willis from Jacksonville, Florida. I love y'all. Peace out, and I'm down.
Oh, give it up for Hubie, everybody. Come on.